next team.
So hi guys. So today's team is the perennial underdogs of ICC tournaments, which is New Zealand. So for this, the popular term used by commentators is this is a team where the sum of the parts are bigger than the whole. So basically, that means that each individual player is not a superstar, but when they combine together, they become a bigger force, which I can say is the opposite of West Indies, as we know, because they haven't qualified for the World Cup, as we know after today's matches. So New Zealand always has been performing very well in ICC tournaments. They were the finalists last year's World Cup as well, which was in Asia. So it it shows their quality that in Asian conditions, a World Cup that was held, they were able to become finalists, right? So that's a big deal. So this team always punches above its weight, and that is one of the dangers this team has. If you have a look at the squads, and we'll do the analysis like we normally do. We'll analyze the squad. We'll discuss the ideal playing 11. You will see there are no real superstars, and the one or two superstars they have, they are not in good nick. So they're going to again depend on these unknown, variables in the team, and they will again punch above the weight, I'm sure. So Australia and England need to be aware of them, and because of the qualifying scenario, how it's been, we have the strong qualifiers also in that group as well, right? We have Sri Lanka joining them. So let's see. We'll start with the squad analysis.
Okay, here we go with the New Zealand squad. On the batting, you see some very consistent and good batsmen here. Again, nobody apart from Williamson, who's of a very high pedigree, but batsmen who do their job, right? So, starting off with the captain Kane Williamson, the most important batsman in the side, right? He'll be that sheet anchor at three who will hold the innings together. All of you might remember he played that superb knock in the last T20 World Cup final. So he's a big match player as well. Rises upon the big occasion and is able to rally his team together not only through the batting but through the captaincy as well. So again, New Zealand will be looking up to their talisman captain to take them through to the semi-finals. Again, the backup wicket keeper or even the primary wicket keeper here could be Glenn Phillips. Again, a very resourceful batsman in the middle order. He can play that supporting type of innings, and once he gets set, he can go for the big shot. So he's a very useful middle order batsman to have in the side. Martin Guptill, we know, right, can become explosive right from ball one. And what might help him in this particular tournament is the pitches in Australia will be fast, right? So Guptill usually relishes conditions where the ball is coming onto the bat quickly and tends to struggle in conditions where the pitch is dual paced, right? Where one ball might come quick and one ball might stop on the surface. So I think up till if first of all we need to discuss whether he'll make it in the starting 11. But if he does get a chance, I think he could have a good tournament if things go his way. Devon Conway, I think, is one person who's very underrated but very resourceful, right? Even in the recent IPL, he did very well for CSK, and he has a lot of value because he's so technically sound. He can, block out good bowling as well when the ball is moving around, and even step up a gear once he's set. So he has some very good stroke play as well. He can open the batting. He can play at number four, and he brings in that left-handed batsman angle as well. So Devon Conway is one person whom I see could have a very big impact if New Zealand is to go a long way in this tournament. Finn Allen is one person who's impressed in the recent New Zealand, Bangladesh, and Pakistan try series. Right, he is very explosive. Starts going after the bowling right from ball one. Has a large range of strokes as well. So he's one person who's impressed us a lot in the recent try series, and I'll be looking forward to see what he can do against quality bowling lineup because he'll be coming up against Australia's bowling. He'll be coming up against England's bowling, so we'll need to see how he ramps up to that challenge. And Mark Chapman is again another impressive youngster who's been blooded into the middle order, has some good shots as well, can play the spinners as well. So on the whole, New Zealand have a good batting unit, but we'll need to see if they can move out from those 150 160 totals to, let's say, making a 180 190 kind of totals on a regular basis.
Yeah. So coming to the seamers, they have the very experienced seamer lineup. We can see Tim Southey and Trent Bolt. They have been the stalwarts for New Zealand cricket for a number of years now. So those two will be starting for sure. And the third seamer will be Loki Ferguson, provided he's fit. Adam Milne is the backup seamer. Again, plays all over the world in various T20 leagues. So he's a good T20 bowler, but a bit expensive because he's that extra pace, and sometimes the line length goes awry. So he gets quite hit also quite a lot. So seamer wise, they have four only, but they will stick to three unless some injury happens. Then Milne will come in, as per me. Spinners is the interesting because in Australia with the big boundaries and the bounce, a leg spinner would be very useful. So Ish Sodhi is a very smart operator, doesn't turn the ball much, and recently he did not have a good try series where Pakistan really thumped him all over the
Yeah.
ground. But again, with the big grounds, the leg spinner should be more potent, I believe. And Michael Bracewell is going to be like the trump card for them because he just came into the New Zealand team some months back, I think, and he is supposed to be an all rounder, but he's a very wily off spinner, and a good team like Pakistan, who is a good player of spin, they could not play him. And he was giving an average of 15 20 runs in 4 overs and taking 2 3 wickets. So this guy can bat and this guy can bowl a very mean spell. So it'll be interesting how many spinners New Zealand can play with, because in the all rounders we know there's Mitch Stanton as well. But between Sodhi and Bracewell, as on current form, I think maybe Bracewell gets the nod ahead because he had a fantastic series and Sodhi did not. And we can discuss the all-rounders, which has my favorite Jimmy Neesham because his tweets are very entertaining and very funny.
Yeah,
And
actually he's
all
known
his
more for
performances are
his
not
tweets than his cricketing
tweets.
skills, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah,
a good thing.
all-rounders again, these are very resourceful all-rounders, right? There's no doubting
Yes,
that. Daryl Mitchell in fact played very well in the last T20 World Cup. I remember in the
yes,
semi-final against England, it was his knock
yes.
that turned the
Ken
corner
Jordan.
for New
Hmm.
Zealand and enabled them to make it to the final. The only question mark here is his fitness right now, right? Because
Fitness.
he
Yeah, he had
recently
a
had an
fracture.
injury,
Hmm.
so we are not sure if he'll play Australia on Saturday. So that is something that needs to be seen. If he's in the playing 11, I think he's a fantastic ad for them. But if he
Hmm.
doesn't make it, then it will be very interesting to see who can replace such a quality player. Miss Santner, again, another underrated player, has that left arm spin angle, right? And he's
Hmm.
a very canny bowler as well, right? Sometimes he uses the crease very well. He goes, right at the edge of the crease and delivers the ball from a different angle as well. And again,
Hmm.
very useful in the in the lower order as well, right? Where if one batsman is going great guns, he will provide that impetus and platform for a good partnership. Jimmy Neesham again, maybe not a superstar all rounder, but sometimes has played very
But
vital knocks. Like even in the 2019
yes,
50 over World Cup, I remember he did well in the World Cup final, right? Where he helped his team almost get over the line in that very
yeah,
tight match, and he chips in with the ball as well. Again, not a all rounder who you can bank with for 4 overs with the ball, but at least maybe 1 or 2 overs, for some change. So the all-rounders are good. Maybe not as talented or as powerful as Australia's all-rounders, but
Australia.
on their day they can hold their own for sure.
So yeah, you can jump to the playing 11 now. So, as per the current trend, what we could see is that Martin Guptill wasn't part of the try series that was recently played, but we believe his experience will come in handy, and he should be opening. And Finn Allen will obviously be an opener because he opens all over the T20 circuit. He's a dasher, and he'll give you the start that's required. So Martin Guptill, Finn Allen, Kane Williamson at three to stabilize innings or go fast, or he drops himself at times down the order, bumps other people to increase the strike. It depends. So he's very versatile like that. Devin Conway, same thing. He can bat as an opener. He can bat in the middle order. So very utility cricketer. Reminds me a bit of Michael Hussey. He's like a can play anywhere, any kind of situation, any tempo. Glenn Phillips is going to be one of the dashers who's going to finish the innings. Daryl Mitchell is a question mark. If he's fit, he's definitely going to play. And if you remember in the World Cup, he opened the innings. So this guy is now a middle order finisher type role he has. So he has a lot of versatility. Hopefully he's fit. It'll be very good for New Zealand's chances because, as you can see, Jimmy Neesham is not a two-over bowler. Sorry, a four-over bowler. So we need some overs from Mitchell as well. So they need a combination, and I don't see any other bowler in the top five. Honestly, Glenn Phillips bowls. Apparently, he does bowl one or two overs of that weird off spin he does. I saw it in the IPL. So not a great fifth option, but yeah, they would prefer to have Mitchell there. The major question mark is number eight actually. So I wanted Michael Bracewell and Sujay wanted Mitch Stanton, as you can say. So we put both. Now let's see what Williamson decides.
Right,
So yeah,
and the surprise package, which Sumit mentioned as well in the try series was Bracewell. In fact, up till that particular point, just before the try series, I think Isodi was a given in the squad, right? And
yeah,
Bracewell has come out of nowhere. Not only has he surprised, the Pakistan team and the Bangladesh team, I think he surprised fans all over the world, right? Now Isodi is no longer a certainty in the squad, and that is
mm,
something which will be very interesting to see if they'll still give Sodhi the nod, or will they go ahead with the promise that Bracewell has shown. So on the stumbling blocks, Sumit, one thing which I can clearly see is the death over bowling, right? Trent
mm,
Bolt and Tim Southey are very good up front. They get the ball to move around with the new ball. But
mm,
if you see Saudi, especially earlier in his career, he was a good death over bowler. I
yes.
remember him doing a good job for CSK as well in the initial editions. I think somewhere around the
Uh,
2011 time frame. But
RCB
of
also took him right for
yeah,
death
yeah,
bowling.
for death bowling, right, right,
So,
right. Glorious memories. So, yeah, but some of his death bowling skills have waned. He's no longer hitting
yes,
the block hole and is getting hit. So that is one area where I see they could still struggle. Even Lockie Ferguson is used as a enforcer in the middle overs. Death overs, maybe he can bowl one or two overs, but if you look at this team, you can't precisely nail down a death over bowler. That is what I
yes.
foresee seeing this playing 11.
Definitely, because even Bolt in MI, he used to bowl 3 overs up front in the power play and then come for 1 over in the 17th or 18th. They did not trust him in the 19th, 20th. Most games I remember because there
Right,
was Bumrah in that then, right?
right.
So death bowling will be an issue. Loki Ferguson is a very important bowler for them, and they have to hope that the new ball works for them. Because if they are in that situation that there are a lot of wickets for the last 5 overs, they will get hammered, I believe, by most of the teams with 60, 70 runs in the last five. So that is one issue, and I think the another stumbling block you can see again. It's we can call it stumbling block or we can call it New Zealand being New Zealand. They do not firepower. Now, if I see like we did a preview of Australia last video, you could see the firepower was there, right? Right from 4, 5, 6, 7. Here the 4, 5, 6, 7 is a very like a docile 4, 5, 6, 7, but they will end up doing the job, I believe, as usual. So we think it's a stumbling block. They do not have that much firepower at the end to tonk the ball like really long because the grounds are huge in Australia and reach the 180 and 200. That is going to be the par score in this World Cup, right?
Right.
That's pretty much it. I think, yeah, those should be the stumbling blocks.
Yeah, yeah. And where do we see New Zealand finishing in the tournament, right? Again, the
Yeah.
barriers, and feel free to add your thoughts.
Mm.
They are in the same group as Australia and England, right? The Australia and England are going to be the two powerhouses in this tournament, right?
Yes.
Possibly finalists, right?
Mm.
And while New Zealand have always outperformed,
Punch above the weight.
but here in this
Mm.
particular tournament, given the conditions, given the form that most of the players are in,
Mm.
I they'll have to really punch above their weight and beat either Australia or New Zealand to make it. But on current form, that
Mm.
looks pretty unlikely. I think they could be due maybe by the law of averages for a first round exit this time.
Yes, I believe it's about time. Yes, I if they punch above the weight in this tournament also, then all kudos to them. Can never underestimate them ever. I think I'll call
Right,
them favorites next time when we do a preview of a future ICC event. If they manage to get out of this group, because their group is genuinely tougher also. The tougher qualifiers have made it to this group, so they
right.
won't have it easy. Now the major chances tomorrow morning against Australia. It's the first game of the tournament. Australia might be a bit nervy, so they need to catch them in the first game. before they face the other heavyweight, that is England. So let's see. And that's pretty much it from our end for the analysis of the New Zealand squad. So
Right.
next up, we'll analyze the final challenger, and actually there are two challenges, but in our heads, I think there's just one more like strong challenger, which is
Yeah.
England, and we'll do an analysis of them as well.
Yeah.
And let us know your opinions on the New Zealand squad, whether you think we're being a bit harsh by constantly calling them underdogs, or you believe that yeah, they are somebody who surprise us every tournament.
Right.
So that's pretty much it. Yeah.
And before we wrap up, hope you were able to go through last video that we had released for Australia. Please do let us know if you think Australia will make it through to to the final and get the coveted trophy, or somebody will find it in them to stop them within their tracks. Look, please let us know in the comment section, and we can take it up for discussion in the next call. Till then, bye bye.